Because we are less, we must be twice more qualified, twice more educated, and twice more ambitious. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنما المؤمنون إخوة فأصلحوا بين أخويكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Sunni historical oppression of Shias is undeniable and continues till now across the world. Ali alayhi salam once said, "My Shias will endure the most oppression in the world, and oppressed we have been. Quiet we are no longer, quiet I am no longer." Sunnis often claim that Shias were behind the killing of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Honestly, it's wild that we even have to respond to something so ridiculous, but we do, because when a lie gets repeated over and over, people start believing it. Now, just to be clear, saying something over 1,000 times over and over doesn't make it true. It's still a lie. So why even bother talking about it? Well, for me, it's personal. When someone, whether online or face to face, tells me that Shias are responsible for Imam Hussein's death and that we beat our chests out of guilt, it really hits a nerve. And I get more upset than I probably should. It's hard to wrap my mind around how someone could twist things so badly. The sad part is a lot of people making these claims haven't even read their own history, let alone ours. They're just repeating what they've heard. And as a Shi'i, I'm constantly debating whether even it's worth engaging with that kind of ignorance. It's exhausting. So, this video is for those who've been misled into thinking that Shias had anything to do with Imam Hussein's martyrdom. I hope it clears things up. Let's go ahead and start sharing my screen here. Perfect. So, years earlier, let's just dive right into it and we'll see where this leads. We can start with chronological events that led up to Karbala. Ya Allah. So years earlier, Hassan alayhi salam and Muawiyah signed a treaty. They signed a treaty stating that rule would return to Ahlul Bayt after Muawiyah's death. A treaty that rule would return to Ahlul Bayt after Muawiyah's death. Instead, Muawiyah appointed his son Yazid as a successor, violating the treaty. When Hussein alayhi salam learned of this, he refused to pledge allegiance to Yazid, whom he saw as a tyrant. Yazid's agents demanded loyalty from Medina's residents, where Hussein was, alayhi salam, where Hussein was, and threatened violence. Now, to prevent bloodshed in the city of his grandfather, Nabi Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, what did Hussein do? Hussein alayhi salam chose to leave to prevent the bloodshed in Medina. Now, I ask you a question. Why did the Sahaba not support Hussein in Medina? Think about that. But the Shia killed Hussein. So when Hussein alayhi salam arrived in Mecca, thousands of letters from Kufans, many signed by families, urged him to come. Why Kufa? Because its governor, al-Nu'man, appointed Muawiyah, now under Yazid, and was corrupt. He was violating Islamic principles. Though not a Shi'i city, Kufa had followers of Ali alayhi salam. Kufa was also home to many Bekris and Umaris and atheists and others who jointly saw Hussein as a righteous leader and hoped he'd unite them under a just Islamic rule. So they invited him. But the Shia killed Hussein. Now Hussein alayhi salam sent his cousin Muslim ibn Aqil to Kufa to verify the sincerity of its people who had invited him. Muslim was warmly received, and thousands pledged allegiance to him through uh, they pledged allegiance to Hussein through Muslim ibn Aqil. He wrote back. Muslim ibn Aqil wrote back urging Hussein to come. And as Muslims' popularity grew, Yazid, alarmed in Syria, dispatched Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad, a ruthless enforcer that wouldn't stop himself from carrying out killings of Ahlul Bayt. He was sent to Kufa to suppress the movement of Muslim ibn Aqil. Ibn Ziyad replaced Kufa's governor Nu'man ibn Bashir, punishing him for failing to act against the rising support for Hussein. But the Shia killed Hussein. Ibn Ziyad begins his campaign of fear, appoints the town crier to announce that anyone who is found to be associating with Muslim ibn Aqil will be considered a traitor to the Caliph Yazid and be punished by death, property confiscated, and family put to the sword. But the Shia killed Hussein. Now, Ibn Ziyad launched a ruthless crackdown on Muslim ibn Aqil. He bribed tribal leaders, threatened violence, sealed Kufa's borders, jailed Muslims known allies. Spies soon discovered where Muslim ibn Aqil was being sheltered at Hani ibn Urwa's home. Now, when Hani refused to betray Muslim ibn Aqil, he was imprisoned. Kufa, once a city of support for Hussein alayhi salam, was swiftly turned into a military state ruled by fear. But the Shia, they killed Hussein. Now, upon learning of the situation, Muslim realized his position was compromised and called for an attack on Ibn Ziyad. Around 4,000 people gathered outside the governor's palace, but Ibn Ziyad stayed inside and summoned bribed tribal leaders to sway the crowd. These leaders spread rumors on an approaching Syrian army, prompting many to retreat, some convinced by fellow tribesmen, others by anxious family members. But the Shia killed Hussein. The Shia killed Hussein. Evening came. Evening came. Muslim ibn Aqil led prayer with only 30 men, where the congregation used to reach 10,000. Before the prayer ended, just 10 remained, and soon he was completely alone. Wandering Kufa streets, he found refuge with a kind woman named Taw'a, but her son Bilal recognized him and reported him to authorities. That night, Muslim ibn Aqil prayed and dreamt of his uncle Ali alayhi salam. Hurry and come quick to us. At dawn, soldiers arrived. Muslim wore his armor and fought valiantly until he was wounded and captured. But the Shia killed Hussein. Muslim ibn Aqil is taken to the governor's palace, Ibn Ziyad. Muslim is then sentenced to death. Before his execution, he requested to write a will, which he gave in secret to Umar ibn Sa'ad, who immediately betrayed him by revealing it to Ibn Ziyad. The will, what did the will ask? Number one, to repay a debt of 700 dirhams by selling his armor and sword. So Muslim ibn Aqil, in his will, requested to repay a debt of 700 dirhams by selling his armor and sword. The other part of his will, to bury his body respectfully. And the last one, send word to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam to not come to Kufa. Ibn Ziyad approved only the first two. Muslim ibn Aqil is immediately taken to the top of the palace's roof, beheaded, his head falling right off the roof, and his body ordered to be thrown to the ground. No word will ever be sent to Imam Hussein alayhi salam to not come to Kufa. But the Shia killed Hussein. The Shia killed Hussein. But the Shia killed Hussein. I am Shi'i. I'm a Shi'i right in front of you right now. 13, 1345 years later. Did I kill Hussein? Tell me, did I kill Hussein? Am I to blame for the Kufans who sent letters but later deserted Muslim? Am I, or am I responsible? Was I there and I fought Hussein? Am I to blame for these people? Tell me, did I kill Hussein? The tragedy of Muslim ibn Aqil alayhi salam revealed Yazid's true intent, not just to crush the Kufan uprising, but to eliminate Hussein alayhi salam and end Ahlul Bayt's claim to leadership. With Kufa subdued and its loyal Shia imprisoned or in hiding, Ibn Ziyad began mobilizing forces to intercept Hussein, who was still en route. So, we discussed events pertaining to Muslim ibn Aqil alayhi salam in Kufa. Now let's set a few things clear, crystal clear, about those clowns that still claim the Shia killed Hussein. So, who are the people of Kufa? I ask you, who are the people of Kufa? Kufa was a volatile city with some Shias of Ali, Shias of Muawiyah, Bakris, Umaris, atheists, and others. Some were opportunists, others fearful of Yazid's regime. Point is, Kufa wasn't Shia. Kufa wasn't Shia. Also, Kufan letters came from the masses, not only Shias. Most letters inviting Hussein alayhi salam were sincere, but under Ibn Ziyad's terror campaign, they were imprisoned, silenced, or forced into hiding. Finally, the majority who betrayed Hussein were not Shia in the theological or loyalist sense. They were not Shia, these people. They were either coerced, bribed, or aligned with the Umayyad state. So the myth of Shia betrayal. Let's discuss this. The term Shia in the context of Karbala refers to those who loved and followed Ali alayhi salam. Those that followed Ali alayhi salam, his Shia did not betray Hussein alayhi salam. The betrayal came from Kufan tribal leaders and political figures who either feared Yazid or sought personal gain. Not not the true Shia of Ali betrayed Hussein. Not the true Shia of Ali. They didn't betray Hussein. Now, many Shia were martyred alongside Hussein alayhi salam. The true Shia were martyred with Hussein alayhi salam, including his family and companions. They didn't kill him. They died with him. So who actually killed Hussein alayhi salam? Who killed him? The orders came directly from Yazid ibn Muawiyah. The execution was carried out by his appointed governor ibn Ziyad. The battlefield was led by Umar ibn Sa'ad. The army comprised of both Sahaba and Tabi'een, and the final blow by Shimr, none of whom were Shia in loyalty or belief. None. So I ask, why did the Sunnis kill Hussein? Why did the Sunnis not help Hussein? So, bottom line, the bottom line here, saying the Shias killed Hussein is a grotesque and disgusting claim made by the Sunnis. Not only is it an inaccurate historical claim, it's a distortion that ignores the bravery of those who stood with Hussein alayhi salam and the tyranny of those who opposed him. The tragedy of Karbala is not a sectarian blame game, it's a moral reckoning. More quick facts here. Saying that the Shia killed Hussein is contradictory, as Shia means follower. True Shia follow Muhammad, Ali, Hassan, and Hussein, peace be upon them. And many stood beside Hussein alayhi salam on the 10th of Muharram, fighting against the tyranny. Now I ask, why did the Sahaba kill Hussein? When Imam Hussein alayhi salam left for Mecca to Kufa, Yazid wrote a letter to the governor of Kufa, Ibn Ziyad, ordering him to either behead Imam Hussein or take him as a slave. Yazid and his tyrant army of Sahaba and Tabi'een fought and killed Hussein. Why did the Sahaba kill Hussein? Number three, the army generals such as Shimr, Umar ibn Sa'ad, and soldiers that faced Hussein were not Shi'as of Ali or Hassan or Hussein. They were rebels, kafirs. Years before the Prophet, peace be upon him, himself cried, knowing, years before the Prophet knew, he was crying, knowing his grandson will be killed by his own ummah, his own Sahaba. Why did the Sahaba kill Hussein? Number four, on the battlefield, Imam Hussein alayhi salam addressed the tyrants. He addressed the tyrants by, woe to you, O Shia of the children of Abu Sufyan. He calls them the children of Abu Sufyan. Shia of Abu Sufyan, he calls them. If you do not adhere to any religion nor fear the resurrection day, then at least act manly in your worldly affairs. Why did the Sahaba kill Hussein? Number five, on Ashura, when Hussein questioned the tyrant's motives for wanting to kill him and his family, the generals of the tyrants called out to Imam Hussein saying, surely we fight you for our hatred towards your father. You liar and son of a liar. His father, Imam Ali alayhi salam. They called him a liar. Surely we fight you for our hatred towards your father, you liar and son of a liar. They called out to Hussein and telling him this. Now listen carefully. Shias of Ali or Hussein would never be recorded to say such blasphemy. Now I ask, why did Sahaba call Hussein Sayyid Shabab Ahlul Jannah a liar? Why did they fight Hussein out of hatred for his father Ali alayhi salam? Why did Sahaba kill Hussein. Number six, different hadiths from the Prophet, peace be upon him, have narrated that should you ever see Hussein alayhi salam, go to his aid, foretelling the events of Karbala. He was also recorded as weeping for the death of his grandson when he was just born. Again, why did the Sahaba kill Hussein? Number seven, on Ashura, when didn't Umar ibn Sa'ad, didn't Umar ibn Sa'ad on Ashura refuse Hussein to leave and blocked his way to return from where he came? He ordered Hussein alayhi salam to give allegiance to Yazid or die. Now, even Shimr, the night before the battle, is recorded by historians to have spoken to Abu Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam, the commander of Hussein's army, and told him they were all free to leave. Shimr was telling them to leave as long as they gave up Hussein. They wanted Hussein. I thought the Shia killed Hussein. No. Why did the Sahaba kill Hussein? Now, let's briefly discuss a tangent on the subject of Karbala and Kufa, while staying on the subject of Hussein alayhi salam. Let's review two misconceptions of Sunnis that they always raise. One about Latmiyat, and the other mischaracterizing Hussein's last stand as suicide. Now, lamentation poetry, also known as Latmiyat, or slapping of the chest. Number one, poetry played a central role in ancient Mecca. One cannot deny that even the Quran itself has some rhythmic, powerful verses. The point I'm making here is that through poetry, a message can be further magnified and can be reflective in nature. Poetry is not new in Islamic culture. Number two, Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam said, all grief and crying are reprehensible, except grief and crying over the killing of Al-Hussein alayhi salam. The same Imam also said, my speech is the speech of my father, and the speech of my father is the speech of my grandfather, and the speech of my grandfather is the speech of Al Hussein, and the speech of Al Hussein is the speech of Al Hassan, and the speech of Al Hassan is the speech of Ali, and the speech of Ali is the speech of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the speech of the Prophet is the statement of Allah, the Almighty and Majestic. Unbroken chain, authentic to the Prophet and Allah. Now, another point I want to make. From authentic Sunni sources, Aisha is recorded to have slapped her cheeks when the Prophet died, and again when Abu Bakr died. And last point about Latmiyat. From the Quran, Nabi Yaqub alayhi salam cried 40 years for his son Yusuf alayhi salam till his eyes went blind. So you want to call Shias kuffar for remembering Hussein alayhi salam every year and crying and mourning, then go ahead and also do takfir on prophets and your mother Aisha. Last point that I wanted to discuss, another that Sunni accusation that Imam Hussein alayhi salam committed suicide because he went to Karbala knowing full well he was about to get killed. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, knew where Imam Hussein would die. So did Hussein alayhi salam. That does not mean Imam Hussein alayhi salam will go against Allah's will and stay in Medina. That means if the Prophet or Imam becomes aware of how or where he will die, he will not go against the path that Allah has chosen for him. This is the ultimate and total obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decree. Now, when Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam saw in a dream that he will sacrifice his son Ismail alayhi salam, and he heartedly agreed and complied with Allah's decree, do we say he was committing suicide? Do we say Nabi Ismail alayhi salam was committing suicide? Of course not. You wouldn't dare. You want to call Imam Hussein kafir for going to the enemy knowing he will fight and die there and label it as suicide? Go ahead. But by the same standards, then go ahead and do takfir on Ibrahim and Ismail alayhum salam. You wouldn't dare. You wouldn't dare. Okay, now let's be clear. In this conclusion now, The blame lies not with those who wished to support Hussein alayhi salam but were prevented, nor with the Shia who never fought Hussein alayhi salam. We put blame on those who crushed the uprising against Yazid and known tyrant. We blame the ones that crushed the uprising against Yazid. Accusing Shia of killing Hussein is absurd. Shia means follower, and it defies logic that followers of Ali or followers of Hassan or Hussein would murder the one they revere. It's absurd. Some Sunnis deviously deflect. Listen to this. Sunnis deflect blame to those who wrote the letters to Hussein, calling them Shia to avoid confronting the role of Yazid's army of Sahaba, Muslims who prayed yet killed the Prophet's grandson. Some Sunnis will not only defend Yazid's actions, but also praise figures. They will praise figures like Umar ibn Sa'ad, who led the assault on Ashura while claiming Allah is pleased with them. Allahu Akbar. Shias don't mourn out of guilt. We beat our chests to honor Hussein's suffering, slaughtered thirsty, beheaded, and trampled. Our sorrow is not regret, but grief for how the family of the Prophet was treated. The only regret, the only regret is not being there to stand beside him when he cried, "Is there anyone to help me?" Labayka ya Hussein. Historians, historians say the skies wept blood on Ashura. It rained blood. And you ask me not to cry? You ask us not to cry? Ziyarat Ashura. Do you have any clue what the ziyarah is? If you don't, then Google it. Every Shi'i in the world reads it in Muharram, the first 10 days at least. It reads, I am at peace with those who are at peace with you, Hussein. I am at peace with whoever is at peace with you, Hussein. And war against those who have fought you until the resurrection day, until the judgment day. May Allah curse those who paved the way for them to do so. In Ziyarat Ashura. Another ziyarah, Ziyarat Warith. Do you have any clue what the ziyarah is? If you don't, then please go ahead and Google it. Every Shi'i in the world reads it after prayer or particularly on Thursday nights. It reads, Curse of Allah be on those who killed you, Hussein. Curse of Allah be on those who persecuted you. Curse of Allah be on those who heard and accepted it. Shias killed Hussein? Shias killed Hussein? Shame on you, wherever you are, propagating such lies. To say Shia feel guilt for Hussein's death is unjust. We didn't kill him. We honor him. We honor him through majalis and Muharram commemorations every year. Through these commemorations, we keep Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam promise alive. We keep her promise alive. Hussein's name remains eternal. Yazid's name cursed eternal. We renew our allegiance, pledging to stand with Hussein alayhi salam. We learn to resist oppression, even at the cost of our own lives. We raise true mujahideen, selfless Muslims who now defend oppressed Sunni Muslims. There's no compulsion in religion. Allah guides those that are sincere and those that seek knowledge. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide you, dear viewer, and expose those that have lied about the religion of Allah, your brother in faith or in humanity, protector of the real sunnah of the Prophet and his Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.